Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where I owe you an apology. My video yesterday was a bit of a shank. We got a request to solve the New York Times hard puzzle on a particular date. I thought it was that day's date, so I showed you the tweet and then solved a puzzle from the New York Times website on that day, but it wasn't the right puzzle, so apologies for that. I know many of you took the time to actually try and solve the puzzle I showed in the tweet at the very start of the video and then wondered why the video went on to discuss something completely different. So I'm going to try and put that right now. I'm going to take a look at the puzzle. I have checked this is the actual puzzle that Patrick asked us to solve in his tweet, and what I'll try and do is go through this at reasonable pace just so that I don't waste any more of your time on this particular Sudoku. But let's go. So 9, 9, 9 here, that's going to be like a 9 in this square, and 7s as well, 7, 7 and the 7 down here means that must be a 7. There's only one 1 in the grid, that's a bit strange. Not many 2s either. No, there aren't many 2s. Let's look at 3s then. 3s here and here. That gives us a 3 in the central 3x3 block, and the 3 there, look. And a 3 here. Pencil mark 3s up on the right hand side. Okay. 2 here means I can pencil mark 2s because of the shape of the numbers I've already filled in the bottom left. That does interact with our 2 there. That's me to put a few more 2s dotted around the grid. This 3x3 block, look, we've got a 5 and a 6 in row 5, so we must have a 5 and a 6 into those 2 squares. And that means we're looking for 1, 2 and 8 into these 3 squares. I've got a 1 here in the shoots, but that's the only thing of any use. I'm going to fully pencil mark this in just because it's sometimes easier. Sorry, I've got a 2 pencil mark there, so we can do better than that. Being slow as usual. 8, 8, pencil mark 8's down here. 6, 6, this 6 are nearly equivalent but not quite. And we need 4, 7 and 9 to complete row 5. Ugh, we've not got anything that helps with that. It's surprising. No. Okay, well, so be it. 4s, look, 4, 4, this 4 must be a 4. Now we've got a nice shape here. 8 must be in one of those 2 cells. Pencil mark 8s into these 2 cells, and look, this 6 is nice as well. That gives us a 2 and a 6 pair in this 3x3. And we can actually place the 6 because of the 6's in these 2 cells. Now, we still need to put a 1 in this block. It must go up here because this is a 2, 6 pair because of the 2, 6 up in the top row. So that, well, still only got 1, 1 in the grid, but at least we know there's a 1 in one of these 2 cells. Can we do anything with it? No. But I've just noticed, look, we've got a 3, 5 and a 7 here, and a 3, 5 and a 7 in column 9, and they affect this block. So we get, well, there's a triple now in this block. In this cell, and this cell, that's the only places we can place the numbers 3, 5 and 7. So let's label that. This can't be a 3 because of the 3 here. So we now need the remaining 4 open cells to contain the numbers 1, 2, 4 and 9. So, well, I can't really see what to do with that. This 4, I guess we know there's a 4 in one of these 3 positions, therefore there must be a 4 in one of those 2 positions in the top row. Now, if we look at column 5, where can we place a 4? This 4 means there's no 4 there. these pencil mark 4s means there's no 4 either here or here. So there's only one place a 4 can go in the central column. Means we can, oh, not that, that's not right. Pencil mark 4s into these two squares. 4. Ah, that's a bit annoying. I thought that would be more useful. Okay, well I don't think I've finished really going through the numbers yet, so let's go back to it. Where did I get to? I got to 4s, I think. So let's have a look at 5s. 5. I guess I can pencil mark 5s into this box like that. Can't see anything better than that. 6s then. 6. Ugh, no, that's no use. 7s. No. 8. What am I missing here? This is very strange. And 9s. 9. Let's have a look at the rest of this column. 1, 7 and 8 to place. So this is a 1 or an 8. 1, 7. Ah, this column, look. There's a 5 and a 6 here, so I need to place 2, 5 and 6 into the open positions. Therefore this square can only be a 2. So this is a 5, 6. This is a 5 or a 6. I can't quite see how to resolve that. 8 here though, that now could be pencil marked at the bottom. 8, 8, pencil mark 8s into those two squares, pencil mark 8s into these two squares. Ah, and there we go, right, so now let's have a look at row 8 of the grid. We've got 8 pencil marked here, and there's a 2, 7 on this side, and a 2, 7 on this side. So we know that in the central 3x3 of row 8 here, there must be 2s and 7s into these 3. There's a triple now. The 2 up here means this one isn't a 2. Okay, so we've got 2, 7 and 8 now here, and this 1. Now this 1 is important. How does that interact on this 3x3 block? Well now, given that we know we've got 2, 7 and 8 in these 3 squares, 1 can only go in this square, which means this is a 3, and this must be a 4, I think. So now does that help? 1, that gives us 1s into those two squares and 1s into these two squares. 3s. 4 must be here now. And that's nice. So if we now look along the top row, we've got 3, 5 and 7 to place. We've already got a 3 and a 5 in column 6. So this is a 7. And therefore, because we know this was a triple, this is a 7. Pencil mark 7s into those two squares. This is now a 3 and a 5. And we can use what we've got down here. Look, we need 3, 4 and 8 to complete this row. So 3s into one of those two squares. I'm just going to highlight the 4s because it is a complete triple, and it's sometimes, as I say, useful to keep track of that. So we need 5, 6. To keep remembering this is a 5 or a 6 here. 5 or a 6. 1. Some little information about 1s and 9s over on the right hand side. Okay, but I think that was a good spot. So now let's try and do some more in the central 3 columns, I think. 2, 5, 7 and 9 down here. This 5 is nice, isn't it? 5, 5. This has got to be a 5, right? 5, 5, 3, 3. So 2, 7, 9 now. This is a 2 or a 9. Remember there's pencil mark 2s here, so this is a 7 or a 9. No use. Okay, so we're going to have to go somewhere else. Still haven't... Ah, this 9. There we go. 9 here, 8 here, 1 here. Therefore, this can only be a 7 now, which means this is a 2 and this is an 8. You can see this 2 is powerful because it allows me to pencil mark 2s there. So these two squares now have to be 7 and 9, and there's a 7 there. So that's a 7 and that's a 9. And that's a 7, unwinding pencil marks. I said I was going to go quickly here, but it's not really been a very quick solve. Sorry about that. So there's 4. This is a 4-9 pair, just to complete row 5. This must be a 1 or a 2. So if you have a look along row 4, we've got this 5-6 pair and a 1-2 pair. So this is a 1 or a 2, and there's a 2 down here. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1. And now, sorry, let's go back to this. So got 1's here, and this 1 here. So that gives us a 1-2 pair. Well, in row 2 as well. This should be a 4 now. That unwinds the 4 and the 9. You can see that means this is a 3. This 4 means this must be the 4, this must be the 8. This is an 8 therefore. Still need to put a 2 into one of these two squares, I think, so that's going to have to be this way round. That unwinds the 1 and the 2, and I think we're there now. So it just needed that little bit of inspiration with the 2, 7, 8 in row 8, I think. I think that was probably the critical step. Let's unwind the 3 and the 5 here. This must be a 5 now. 6 and a 9 into the open positions. Can highlight those like this. This 5 now is going to completely allow us to open up the left-hand side of the grid. Without this 5 we'd be really struggling, but that means this now goes like this, and everything will unwind on this side. And there we go. So that was how to do the puzzle I was meant to show you yesterday. I know I'm running really behind with a number of requests that we've had on the channel. I hope to get to a daily killer Sudoku that has been strongly requested by 3 or 4 of you. So I will try and look at that as well. We've had diagonals, jigsaws, all sorts of things requested. So keep an eye on the channel. Hopefully we'll get to your puzzle in due course. If you enjoy us, please do subscribe. We really appreciate it. If you're in a position to sponsor us on Patreon, it's massively appreciated. And we'll be back soon with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.